almost game time. Welcome to another episode of Relatable Luxury. Today we have a special guest, but before we get there, I am one of your hosts, Dan Cruz, and
I'm Oneida Cruz. Welcome. So today we have our special guest, Carlijn, who is the founder and creator of Poppie Toys. Now, I know so many people, especially people with younger kids now, have an imagination that is so creative when they have babies and they want amazing, sustainable products for their kids' toy room or just for them to play with. And so Poppie's Toys enters the equations for sustainable, organically made, beautiful rattan pieces, furniture. And Carlijn is here to talk to us about her journey in creating this concept of the Poppie Bow Chair, which I know and love. It's one of my best-selling rental chairs. And she's going to share her process of how she began her brand to where she is now. So could you please welcome Carlijn of Poppie's Toys.
and we usually have a clap in the back, but it's not here.
So please tell us more about what your company represents.
So I started Poppie Toys 5 years ago, and that was after I worked already in the toy industry with another brand. I think that was for 3 years. I stopped that partnership, and we were making really nice, like wooden toys.
Yes.
And I wanted to continue make nice things, but I didn't want to do the same. So I was looking for a material that was sustainable, beautiful, something that I would buy for my kids, and that I would leave in my house that I can actually look at.
Yeah.
Because I think that 5 years ago it was starting, but that your kids' toys, they when Hannah was like 2, everything was like screaming with plastic.
Yes.
And I had all these pieces. I grew up at end of the 70s.
We're 80s babies, so we know.
And my mom, she kept everything. So I had my rattan little doll crib still at and now Hannah was using it, and the rocking horse. So I felt that that would be a material that I could work with.
Right.
And I went to look for a factory that actually could do that for me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I had all the drawings. Like I had the first 5 designs. Like we need to do this. And I had no idea how this industry works, because it is different from the wooden toys that are mainly manufactured in China, and that I knew my way around to find a factory that is actually sustainable and find that. But in China, they are not really good with the rattan weaving.
Right.
It's not their culture, like in Indonesia. So I traveled to Indonesia and I visited the hand workers and just tried to find a factory that would want to do it. And I was so convinced that my idea was great. Now I think like, what? Why was I so confident? I was like, okay, I want to do this. And I want to order 1,000 pieces of this in that color. Da, da, da. So I was like, this is my order, make it.
Exactly.
And then a lot of them came back with like, oh no, we don't want to do that.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I had to figure out why not and what was the wrong approach. And the whole working with rattan is such a different process from wood, and it is all handmade. So every item costs amount of work that you have to put in, and if you make the order bigger,
Right.
it will cost more work, more
Right.
time. It's
Right.
and then they were not used to making things this small.
Right.
They were like, oh no, it's going to be too expensive.
Exactly. For the scale.
Yes, but thinking for me, like, who can sell a toy for more than $100, right?
Exactly.
So they were like, yeah, well, yeah, we can make it, but it's going to be way too expensive. So they didn't want to burn their fingers. So it took me like months actually, just emailing with Indonesia, trying to find someone that wanted to try it. And then in the end, I had 2 factories that were making samples, and I went there and I looked at it, and then it was finally clear to me what's the problem. Yeah, why it was so different than I expected. Yes.
So that's amazing. And I love that the process of going from your head or your paper to actually having the physical samples and then convincing the people there that, I know this will work. That
Yes.
confidence is amazing.
So what made you decide you wanted to go to Indonesia and take that long trip?
Because I wasn't getting anywhere with emailing, so I had to. Yes. No, and Indonesia has the history of the rattan. It's like the in Java, Cirebon. It's like one big city with that is the industry, and Krupuk, the prawn crackers.
Yeah.
But that's it is one or the other. That's what the people do there.
Exactly.
So that was the place to be.
That's exactly.
And so you went from the teething toys, right?
No. It was balance bikes.
Okay, yes.
And other wooden toys, mostly on wheels.
So you said you were a partner in that company, and then you decided to go out on your own with that knowledge that you had from them.
Yes.
Okay, and how was that transition? Because now all of the finances are on you, and you have, it's not a split cost. Do you feel like because you went on your own, the rewards were much greater? Or do you feel like would you do it over? Would you have a partner again?
No, because I wouldn't have a partner again, just because I would feel very responsible for the other one. Like now we had crazy times, right? With the lockdown and the container pricing went like, now I could make choices that only affect me.
Gotcha.
And I could take risks that only affect me. But if I make those choices and they come out bad, I don't want a partner to feel that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So and also in my previous partnership, there was not a lot of time to relax for me, and that was my own wrongdoing.
Yeah.
But now I can say, okay, enough is enough, and I put out my computer, and I'll be the good mom that I try to be. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you do it together, I felt that that there was no way to have a balance.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I am in love with your Poppie bow chair. Like I said before, it's one of my best selling or best renting chairs. And I did not know, and you emailed me, must have been 2 summers ago, it was an event on Instagram. I posted a picture and you emailed me saying, this is my design. And I'm like, hold on. I thought this was like something that you just got off of Alibaba. I didn't know. And
yeah, Alibaba is full of my designs. That is, of course, I'm sort of okay with it now. I roll. But yeah, they use my product pictures and put it out there like, oh, we can make that.
Exactly.
So first of all, there are all like factories in Vietnam and China that are doing that.
Yes.
So it's not even my factory that promotes themselves by look what we're doing. No, they just found my picture on the
and they
big
reproduce
interweb and they use it and say we can do this.
And let me tell you, it's not the same. It's not. Anybody who wants to know, it's not the same as a Poppie's chair. I've never gotten from China, but I got from Vietnam. And one, the proportions were off for the chairs. So that was a huge thing for me. And then there's no quality control. Like with all of your pieces, there is no variation. Maybe in color, but in size, there is no variation. When you buy from Alibaba, there were variation in sizes. The rattan was very different. Like it was like, I don't know if it's dry rot. I don't know the terms, but it's not as nice as how your chairs have been. And I don't have like all that first set of chairs. They're sitting in the back of my warehouse because it's like, I don't use them as much because they're not as nice. They're not sustainable. And you can definitely tell the difference between that and your products. So I commend you for just having a quality product, because if you are looking for, like, most people in this rental industry, they want a chair for an inexpensive price, but then on the back end, the product is not as good. So your design is amazing. And just the idea of a bow chair, like, how did you arrive at that? It's super ingenious.
Now, first of all, I didn't want to make kids furniture. I was like, it's in the name. I make toys.
Right.
But I really just started. And I had like a rocking horse, which is not my design. That was actually the retro piece that I started with, and that I so that is not my. It already existed, but I had a day bed for dolls and a little crib, and I was very lucky because it took off like the minute it came in. I had one little store in New Jersey that actually replied on my 500,000 emails to all the little stores in the United States. And I hand delivered her first order. She put it on Instagram. And before I came home, I parked my car, and I got an email from her. I need more. I sold everything.
Wow.
And all a lot of other stores saw her post on Instagram and said, I need that too. So that was a great start for me. Like it would have been actually more reasonable if it would take me a longer time to even get out there. But that was great.
Yeah.
But then everyone immediately asked about, do you have little chairs? Do you have little tables?
Right, for playrooms.
Yes. So, and my first reaction was like, oh no, I have to make toys. But then I thought, like, I'm going to make something that is not too, how do you say that? Not too childish.
Sure. Yeah.
Something that I would like in a bigger size for myself.
Right.
Like my vanity, and sit there. So the vanity chairs that you if you Google it, like the retro vanity chairs, they have the low back.
Exactly.
so that is where it came from. And rattan is perfect to bend. So yeah.
I remember when the email came in, we were at home. I think we were laying down.
Yeah.
And the email came in. It was like, look, the email, she said that this was her design. And we just started researching. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So, people steal your ideas. My favorite is the rattan and chair set dolls for dolls
Yeah.
with the little table and the rattan tables. But have you had any of your stuff duplicated? Most of your stuff? Have you had all your stuff duplicated, or just the rattan bowl chair?
No, all of it. Yes, but it is because it is more difficult than you think to have your production on the other side of the world. So first I panicked with everything that popped up,
Yeah.
like on your website. I was like, those are not, she didn't buy those from me.
Right.
Like panic, like, oh, this is the beginning of the end, because I
Yeah.
had such a great big start. And then I saw it pop up, like with you and some at Amazon.
Yeah.
And and I was like, oh, so, and this is where it ends, like, woo.
Mm.
But it turned out that that people that were copying me couldn't keep up with, I think, quality,
Yes.
but also it's big pieces, so shipping is really expensive. Like the costs are really high to just have the stuff from Indonesia to the customer.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to have a long you have to be patient before it actually is
Exactly.
yeah.
Gets to you. I remember right after COVID, I think it's the first order that I had with you. You were waiting on the adult bowl chair, and you were saying, like this, you just have to be patient because they're done. It's just getting them here. I think at that point it was a shortage of containers. With the COVID and everything, it was horrible. But again, because the quality is so amazing, people, you have that trust with your brand. People are going to wait for it because they know that they're getting something that, like you said, it's going to last generations. If you take care of it well, because it's just that well made.
So I'm curious. Have you purchased any of the replica furniture, and just to see if it's just compared it to nothing?
You're not missing out. I remember you educated me because we had a conversation about the seat of the chair, and the chairs that I purchased from Alibaba, they were completely closed, and I remember you saying something about, I don't know the term, but however the seat connected to the back of the chair, and you were talking about the construction and the reason why you made the design the way you did. And that to me was automatic. Like, I'm always going to buy from you, because who takes the time to understand how a kid is going to sit in that chair, that connection being something that it will last forever. And, in my world, like Danny and I, we have chairs that break all the time. And they break in ways that don't even make sense, because a child is no more than like 60 pounds. How is this chair cracking? So with the rattan pieces, it's never happened with your products. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine for the renting business, it's also really nice that they're not heavy, because you can just carry them yourself. It's not don't need a team of movers to get it ready.
Exactly.
No,
It's still like that too, that when a container comes in and I'm at my warehouse trying to get everything as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it would be like wood, I could not even do it.
Yes. No, they're super light.
Yeah,
super light.
So that is nice. No, but what I do with all my new products, I have it tested, right? Because not only because I wanted to not break. But child safety is so important, and I cannot trust my supplier to put on the right finish. What if there is like heavy metals in it or anything? So every time I need to retest it and make sure that it is safe for children. Yeah.
That's
So out of your entire collection, which one is your favorite piece?
Well, the one that I thought was most beautiful doesn't sell.
Which one is that?
Is the hobby horse, the stick horse.
Yes.
Was that
just so it really came out like I wanted. Like, it was just so beautiful and simple, and you could see that it was a horse without being childish.
was that your first piece?
No, that was like maybe that was later. Yes.
And this is the rocking horse, correct?
No, it's like a stick with the horse at the top.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yep.
Show it to you.
I see it.
I can get it.
I see it.
See how great it is.
Rattan toy hobby horse.
Yes. And you know what it is? I think kids that's a retro piece as well, because I remember something like that as a child.
Yes. Well, if you live in a farm.
No, you don't have to live in a farm.
No, I remember watching those movies and cartoons.
Popular, right?
Yeah.
With a plush hat or a wooden hat, they are popular, but it's not a bestseller for me, and they're expensive to ship because they're so long.
Gotcha.
Right.
So then I sort of gave up on it. But I think that to get the ears like this and to get the shape of the horse head, I was like, oh, it came out perfect. I couldn't be happier. And then, okay, now I have a lot of those.
Well, listen,
that they do sell, but they're not my best seller.
They're not.
So I'm curious with this particular piece, how long does it take, or is it handcraft? Let me ask that question first. Yes. Is it handcrafts?
Mm-hmm.
How long did they say it takes to make?
To develop it, it was like weeks and back and forth and back and forth. But to make it, it's not that many pieces, but there is also some shaving. It's not just bending. And how it works is that several people work on it. So some will make the frame, the poles and the frame, and then someone else will do the peel. And
that looks sturdy.
It does.
Very sturdy.
Yeah, it looks sturdy.
Yeah, no, you can actually play with it. Yes, but and then. And that is done with the hand workers at their own home.
Oh, wow.
And then it goes to the factory where they finish it, where they put my my logo on, where they put it in packaging and make it ready for shipment. But so it's a lot of different people with one skill, and then it goes from one to the other to the other.
Wow. Have you had to change factories throughout the time of Poppie Toys, or you've been with the original factory since the beginning?
No, I just added to have not all my eggs in the same basket. I have one factory that is really good in the smaller things, like the beds and the cribs and the little hanging egg, like the more fine work. And then I have a factory that does the furniture. And I have another factory that that could do wheels for me for a pram.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, I want to go back to the questions. No, so we asked that. So I remember, I think we alluded to this. So the question was, have you ever had an experience where you fell behind schedule? But to your point, because you're in business by yourself, whatever risk you take fall on you. So it's your own schedule, so to speak. But you have created, it's not like a brick and mortar, like what you said before. You emailed so many people that have stores, so you're stocking them with your products. So I guess it's so they know that we're waiting for this, so you just have to wait. So it's not like you have a brick and mortar building that you have to supply. So what was the decision on not having a store versus e-commerce?
Because that is a job by itself. Having a store,
Yes.
that is yeah. Um, that means that has to be someone, but that someone is drawing and being and manufacturer. So
Yes.
a store is just it's another business, and it's also not my strength, because I do sell online myself, but uh, I don't know how I could make that bigger, right? It's
Exactly.
not, that is not what that I want to put my energy in. Like
Of
that
course.
is
Of course. Now,
yeah.
e-commerce is like the way to go because you don't.
Yeah, no, but also, I mean, just retail selling. It's
Yes.
not my strength. I have to be more on social media. I have
Gotcha.
to be yeah. That is already a job.
Right.
So
Right.
I focus on wholesale, because all and I mean, it is so nice to see my stuff back in stores that make you happy. Like, it's all these mom and pop stores
Sure.
that yeah, I'm proud to be in,
Exactly.
and that people already know, so, and
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah. No, I saw it because it was like global, like Australia, in Europe, in US. So it's your brand has transcended and reached so many different places. So kids all over the
Hmm.
world can experience them. That's an amazing thing
Yeah.
from 4 or 5 years ago to being all over.
Yeah, no, that is funny. So when I started it, I don't think I didn't find it. There was not really something similar. What I
Hmm.
said, like in Indonesia, they didn't really were enthusiastic about the whole idea. And then, like, half an hour and half a year later, everyone in Indonesia was emailing me with, like, "Oh, we make toys. Look, a little bit of the Alibaba feeling, like, oh, we
Yeah.
can do this for you." And then and then there are other brands popped up after me, and they have nice things too. And for, I try to see that the world is, like, big enough
Yes.
that other brands can exist next to me, of course.
Mm.
um but on the other hand, I'm like, I don't think that anyone is allowed to make rattan toys. That was me.
Yeah. Well,
But
definitely not the bowl chair. So that you definitely have to police.
yes, no, but I mean, what I said, the rocking horse was not my design. It was just uh, in the attic of my mom's
Right.
of my mom, that I used as an inspiration, and uh, a bed made of
Mhm.
rattan. It looks like a bed. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it is, that is um it's hard to say, like, oh, you are making a doll bed out of rattan. That's my idea. So I'll, yeah,
So,
I'll get over myself.
so I'm curious. Have you reached out to anyone else? Like, those are my chairs. That's my design. Or has anyone else reached out to you? Like, hey, I would like to, you know, just remake your design.
Mm.
Has anybody ever?
No, I think that I emailed someone on Alibaba, like, you're using my product pictures, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I got an automatic reply, like, how many do you like?
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking for what's popular now in the kids space are these like bubble domes. They're like an
Mhm.
inflatable that they blow up balloons. And I'm looking for that, and I'm scrolling down the list and I see from my Instagram, like all of these pictures. And I'm like, wow, they just take whatever they want. And to your point, when you say, I don't even respond anymore. A lot of it are vendors that I've purchased from before. They've just taken the pictures. But then there
Yes.
are others that it's just like, they just grab and go. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
How long does it take you to develop one of these products in your head
Yeah.
to put it on paper?
Um, the ones that are out there, that it didn't take too long, but you don't see the ones that didn't make it. Like,
Yeah.
I
Mm.
spent a lot of time on things that in the end I don't want to make because it's way too expensive,
Right.
or it is not working out for me as I wanted it. So yeah, it takes some time, but if I'm really feel confident about my idea, that also means that I am very uh, straightforward with the people that make the designs,
Yeah.
and then it can be a very quick back and forth, and we could have a product in 2 weeks. You
Mm.
know, one that is ready to go to testing.
Mhm.
But if I'm not feeling it, then I get it back and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then it is getting my daughter to ballet and back and forth, and just you know all the other things that come with the business that needs work too.
So when you say it takes a couple weeks, do they send the product to you and you look at it physically?
The first stage is just pictures when they make a sample, and then depending on what it is and what I'd like to see, they send it to me, which is really expensive. Um, and then but I travel to Indonesia, so most of the time I have like a couple of prototypes ready,
Sure.
and then I go, and then we can work on it, and then it goes really quick.
Got it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When you're thinking about yourself as a businesswoman, what are some things that are non-negotiable for you? Like, what are things that you just are not willing to compromise in business?
Um, that's a hard question, but I I would not want to be the one that is copying other people.
Yeah.
Like, um, and that is sort of like um, hard too, because then a lot of it's like, I mean, everything is done.
Yes.
So I want, so there is a lot of things that I said, like, oh, I want to stay away from this and this and this and this, but then I mean, yeah, so that is a sort of sometimes a question for me, like, am I, maybe I should be a little bit more think, yeah, I don't know how to say that, sorry, it's a
No.
language
I
thing.
think so. What you're saying is like when you see people who are copying or things like that, you're not as reactive as you once were because you know that it's
No, it's more that I didn't have like a high chair before.
right.
Um, but then there was this other big brand that had a rattan hair high chair
Mm-hmm.
before me.
Gotcha.
And I was like, no, we're not going to do a high chair because someone else has that.
Understood.
But then I kept my collection really small, and people were asking for it.
Sure.
And then it took me a lot of convincing myself that, I mean, a high chair for dolls, that can be so many things.
Right.
So mine is different, and I can do this without feeling guilty about it.
Got it.
And we talk about it all the time. We talk about the principles and morals about this business, and for you to have those morals and values, and no one else does because someone else is just going to copy just because they see a product that can sell, speaks volume to the person who created it.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
that's sweet.
Definitely. because we
Yeah.
see it. It's, I mean, we're not in the selling game, but just as far as right now we're in ordering season for rentals because everybody's preparing for the summer. So
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing so many people get kids chairs and tables. And so we sit and we watch every time somebody posts new inventory on Instagram. I sent him a picture. I said, look what such and such got. And he's like, but you have that. I said, yeah, I mean, I have it, but like, they're going to get what they're going to get. And that's just how it is. Like, what can you say? But again, to your point, it's not going to stop us from renting what we rent or purchasing, the stuff that we love. Um, I definitely, excuse me, I definitely love the rattan because it's lightweight, it's easy to wipe off. It's my clients love it because they have your chairs in their house for the kids, for the toy rooms, right? So the fact that they
Mm-hmm.
can rent it for a party is just like over the top for them because their kids love seeing the toy every day. I remember going to drop off, and the little girl, she was 3, she comes over to me, she's like, that's my chair. Did you go in my room? I said, no, these are my chairs too. And she's looking, and you have your little plaque on the back of the chair. She's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
this is mine. And I'm like,
Oh,
well,
that's so
no, it's for your friends, to sit, to have fun. Yours is still in your house. And she was confused. She's like, no, I know this is my chair. So, parents love the fact that they can have the chairs at an event and it mimic what they have in their homes. So it's a really, really wonderful thing to have. And just the fact that you wholesale, I was sold. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah. So when I see it, when I go on your website and I see all these different type of products, I see one color. Do you have in any other colors?
No, the at this time I only have the natural rattan. Plus, I have one line, and I call them the farm chairs
Yes, we have them in
that
black.
I have in colors.
Yeah,
Got it.
you
I
do.
have
That's the
it in
black one we
black
just
and in
got.
a peach color too.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I love that. I love that chair a lot. Because again, we have the crossback, but it's not the rattan, and I just love, one, how light it is, and I love the fact that it's just a whole different look, and compared to
Mm.
the solid wood that I have. So I really love it. So our last question is, who is on your team? Who makes Poppie's Toys run? Like, do you have like a assistant, a VA? Who helps you to complete your daily business task?
Thank you for asking because Kelly is that person that makes my life a lot easier. Um, Yeah, and she is a mom too of 3 boys,
Yeah.
and we know each other from university in the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm.
we're in the same year and the same city and the same. Um, I don't know how to call it. But we didn't. We knew each other's name,
Yes.
but she moved to the US as well. And every year in New York, we have the Dutch day, the what
Uh-huh.
we call King's Day. And then we have this big event with a lot of kids, and it's really fun. And then she would come from New Jersey with her kids, and I was helping with the event, and that was our yearly talk. Hey,
Yeah.
how are you doing? And then when I started Poppy, she was like, "Yeah, I don't know how am I doing. I'm doing well, but my youngest is going to school now, so
Yeah.
I'm looking for something." And I said, "Oh yeah, for me, new things too." And she emailed me a week after, and she said, you said you started something new, and maybe I didn't understand well, but was that an invitation for um was that a job
Right.
invitation? I was
Right.
like, no, but it could be. So
Mhm.
before my first collection arrived, we were already up and running, and she is in charge for all the wholesale orders to have it logistically in
Wow.
order. and to have all the contacts with the stores. And it is really great because that is a whole job, and I could
Exactly.
not do that. And also, I'm not as organized as she is.
That's
I,
amazing.
I know she said that was the last question, but I have a question. How did you come up with the name Poppie?
Oh, it's uh, a doll is a pop in Dutch. So it is also how I call my daughter and how my dad called my daughter. Like it's just it's a sweet. It's like sweetie,
Got it.
Hmm.
Got it.
Poppy.
Got it.
Yes, and it sounds really nice in English too.
It does. It does. So I've had two interns um from Belgium, from the Netherlands, from two different universities, because I did I hosted the first year. I hosted someone to do she was doing like her last year in undergrad, and the school was KDG. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's where is it? It's in Belgium. But she came and she did like my marketing, my online marketing. And then 2 years after, I had another different university. But I always say to them, I always want to go to Belgium to experience the luxuriousness of, it's like a old European country, and it's just amazing to see
Yeah,
the
Brussels is
chocolate.
so
Like
beautiful. Yeah.
they both well, Jennifer, she was my first intern, she brought me chocolate, and I'm just like, this doesn't even taste the same.
No, so true. We were in shock when we arrived here, and we were like, "Oh, this does not taste like chocolate. This is
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's something wrong with it."
the kick
exactly.
the Kit Kat is not the chocolate.
Um,
Exactly. So I thank you so much for coordinating with our crazy schedules, for able to come and speak with us. I truly appreciate you for coming on, and I look forward to purchasing any new chair designs you have coming up, because again, we really love them, and they've served our business so well.
Wonderful.
but
Thank you.
before
It's so nice to see the pictures
Yes.
of the events. I mean, it makes me really happy to see that. And just let me know what you want because I can
Yes.
create.
but
Yes.
so yeah, so but before we go, is there anything you would like to mention or say that we didn't cover, something that you feel strongly about?
Yeah.
Um, maybe no, I don't know. No, I think that as long as I enjoy doing this, that is the main reason to continue doing it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
that
so,
is.
and to your last point, you said if there's anything anyone wants to be, anyone wants to create, you can create anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Cool.
absolutely true. So,
Listen,
um,
you told the wrong person that, because he's going to be like, come on, he's going to start drawing things.
yeah,
But yes.
uh, and then you send me the drawing, and I'm like, yeah, but I will do that different. But
Well, you're the
yes,
expert. Yes. Yes.
No,
We
thank you.
we get asked a lot about either franchising or people wanting to buy from us chairs.
no,
And again, it's not, I want to stay in my lane of rentals, but I understand that people want stuff because they see it and it looks amazing. But I don't ever see us selling furniture ever. Like, I'll leave that to the experts, because I know how involved it is. It's a lot of work to manage that. And to your point, like, just for me getting, like, when I order from Alibaba, I'll get like 20 pieces, and it drives me.
mhm,
It's nerve wracking for me. So I typically do air freight. And I
yes,
can't even imagine bringing in like a container or multiple containers in. That has to be a lot.
yes, no, and I think that being a little bit naive helps with doing that the first time.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, yes. No, I appreciate so much of you taking the time out, and thank you again. And I will have a wonderful week, because your baby is off this week, right? for
Yes.
break. Yes. So good luck with that, because
Yes.
you have to keep her engaged.
Oh yeah, no, and she asked, like, what are we going to do today?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you know, we're going to have a whole lot of people are going to have many questions about this interview with you. And so
Yeah.
we might have to do a part 2 so we can answer those questions, because we're not going to have the answers to those questions.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. So
All
thank you
right.
th-
so
Thank you
much.
so much. It was so fun. And it was the first time that I did anything like that. And of course, a little bit nervous because my English is not that
No,
well.
it was perfect.
Thank you. You feel comfortable.
yeah, so there you have it, folks. Another episode of Relatable Luxury with Poppie Toys and
Yes.
Carlijn. And so if you have any questions or comments, please drop them into the Instagram, into our YouTube, and we will get back to you, hopefully maybe with a part 2, part 3, part 4, depends on availability here. So thank you once again.
And
And
take
I'll
care.
Thank you.